Survivor's ready. Go!
Travis spoken.
Boston Rob and Amber are gonna do it.
This is a business trip, as I like to say.
You, Brad Culpepper.
I'm tired of you and the fucking chicken.
You can call me the puppet master. They can be my little puppets.
It's not like you're making me deal with the devil here.
You get to milk your own milk, I guess.
Who the hell voted for me?
Chicken.
Damn! We got enough rocks here, too. We could build a pretty decent shelter just using rocks.
I'm supposed to talk lamb to you. You understand that better?
Direct from Hobart, it's time for the only Survivor podcast in Australia dedicated to Survivor, bringing you all the latest interviews, episodes, and opinions from the greatest reality show on the planet. It's Survivor Oz, and here's your host, Ben Waterworth.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Survivor Oz for another Ben Waterworth-less episode. I'm Colin Hilding, filling in for the second time today. And we're chatting with, you could call her the mother of Survivor Oz, grandmother of Survivor Oz, the co-founder of Survivor Oz. Today she's here to talk about the charity event she's hosting this weekend, Reality Rally. She's talked to us in past years, so we're thrilled to welcome back Gillian Larson.
Hey, Colin, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me back. And that was quite an introduction. Yeah, I thought.
You're a very busy woman, I'm guessing, this time of year.
We are. We're coming up on Reality Rally in about 4 days' time, or maybe even less. And I am busy getting to the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's going to be an amazing, amazing weekend again.
Well, we're glad you're able to fit us in here before you started out. Just before we do get into this, do you want to just explain to anybody who maybe hasn't heard your interviews from past years, if they're unfamiliar with it, do you want to explain exactly what Reality Rally is?
I would love to, actually. For anybody that doesn't know, and hello, listeners, wherever you are. Hello, Australia. Hello, Canada. Hello, America, whatever. I'm always so thrilled by this. I think it's amazing, this technology, that here we are in 3 different places, and we can talk to anybody who wants to listen. So, it's amazing. So, yeah, reality, for those of you that may not know, I was a contestant on Survivor in 2008, and I had been driven by this passion to get onto Survivor, which I know millions of people do. However, I could never explain it because I really, it's really, what, really? I tried for 8 years. I sent in basically 16 applications. I went to 2 open casting calls. I went to 3 interviews. I was offered the Amazing Race. I turned down 4 other pilots because I felt driven to do Survivor. And eventually I did make it in 2008 for the season of Gabon in Africa. So here I was trying for 8 years. I played for 6 days. I was booted second. I lost 12 pounds, and I had a 5-week vacation. And during that time, we were we were always secluded. But we were in the middle of Africa, so there was absolutely nothing around except jungle. There was endless jungle, endless beach, endless ocean, endless monkeys, and endless wine and food, which sounds remarkable for people. However, I was really bummed. I thought, what was all of this about? Such, a passion to get on, and here I am off. So I sort of said, okay, guys, and I went out and talked to the monkeys, and I said, so what is this all about? And my daughter had written a book. She dotted a message in a book for me that I was in my, in the bag that you can have after you're booted. And she'd sent a message from home, and there were 2 things that struck me in that letter from them. One was honor yourself, and I had very little good to say about the tribe because we just weren't a good mix, and I just couldn't say anything about them to the camera just to be good television. So I was like the silly Pollyanna, we're going to be wonderful. This is such a fun experience. We're going to be great. In the meantime, that's not what I was thinking, but I'd honored myself because I wasn't going to do that to my family. So that actually is my advice for people. If you are the sort of person that's going to be great TV because you're, conniving and mean and horrible and ugly and all that sort of stuff, well, then go for it. But don't try and be that way just to think you're going to be good television because you don't know how you're going to be edited anyway. And I just knew that I couldn't do that to myself, couldn't do it to my family, and I couldn't do it for my town, which has been such a thing now for me doing Reality Rally. And the second thing in that letter was, there's something much more around the corner waiting for you as this experience was. So I spent 5 weeks walking 5 hours a day in the jungle. I mean, what an opportunity. I could walk and walk and walk and walk endlessly without coming across any people on the beach and in the jungle. And this idea just came to me. I love Temecula. It's a wonderful family-friendly town in Southern California, right between LA and San Diego. And I now belong to this reality world, which I really didn't think about. I mean, I didn't get it, that this was going to be the post-life. And then the Michelle's Place charity that we support, young woman who died at 26 because she was misdiagnosed with breast cancer. And they provide about 7,000 to 8,000 services a year to people and families who have breast cancer and rely on funding. So this idea came to me, Reality Rally. We bring approximately 100 reality stars to Temecula every April. It's usually the second week of April, except I may be thinking about it a little differently. The spring break and school's out and all that sort of stuff does have a bit of an impact on us. This year we're bringing 98 reality stars, and they come from about 40 different TV shows. I offer it out to anybody who's interested. I review the show and the person if I don't know the show, and if I don't know the person from trying to catch them on TV, I look for them somehow. And because we try to keep our image really high, because we value our sponsorship, we value our town, we value our stars, and we want a good image that's portrayed here. Again, it kind of goes into that honor yourself philosophy. So and the stars have to raise a minimum of $500 to be here. And then we do cover their expenses while they're here. We don't pay any appearance fees. We can use all the images we get from the weekend in any way that we want to for marketing, as can they. And I have 26 imagery team, the video and photo all weekend. So they get captured all over the weekend. So we raise money for Michelle's Place by having an open event for the public. And it's just great and awesome and amazing. And the reason that I want people to raise the stars to raise the money is because I want people here for their heart, not their ego. And there are a lot of stars that say, well, I want to come, but I can't raise money. I don't know how to. I don't want to ask people. Well, then they don't come because that's the criteria. You raise money and you come. Mm-hmm. So they do. And we bring in money from all over the world. Last year, and I haven't done this year's tabulations yet, but last year it was 16 countries in every one of the 50 states. So Friday night so this is anybody that's somewhat local, even if it's a few hours drive. We have great hotel rates. The stars stay at the Pala Mesa Golf Resort, and there's still rooms available there, I believe. And then there's also a less expensive rate at the Quality Inn in Temecula for fans. They put a really good Reality Rally rate up for us. So Wilson Creek is Friday night. It's a winery. They've hosted us. This is our 5th year. And it's now the red carpet night. We brought the red carpet to Friday night. And it's a casino fundraiser by Feeling Lucky Casinos. And they do a huge fundraising casino in there. There's food. We have 14 restaurants that provide food. And then, of course, there's Wilson Creek wine, and it's a lot of fun. And we have a jazz band with the Great Oak Jazz Band. I try to include as much of Temecula as we possibly can and beyond in any way we can through visibility for sponsorship and, of course, promoting Temecula and many things that we have to offer here. Saturday is an amazing race kind of game. We have three public sign up to play the game. If they want to choose the star off their lineup, they raise $1,000 for Michelle's Place, and many do. Otherwise, they randomly assign a star to their team. This goes on Saturday morning, and these teams set off running around Old Town Temecula. It's like an old west town that's really picturesque and really awesome. And there are 13 organizations that put on a challenge for them. So they'll come to the theater and the History Museum and the Children's Museum and the Stampede Saloon and the karate stations and the film festival and the schools and do a challenge. We've got France and we've got Italy, all representing something sort of like The Amazing Race, and some of them are sort of Survivor-like. And they're fun. I mean, it's not just like skip through a hula hoop 3 times and you're done. They have to dress in costume. They have to perform on the stage. They have to make a movie. They have to pretend they're in a rodeo and possibly ride a mechanical bull or a stick horse. And then they go to the gunfighters, who are a huge part of this event, and they have to shoot things and lasso things. And the gunfighters have about 40 of their members, all dressed in costume, Wild West looking. And this year our theme is Back to the Future. So we are, everything is done in either past or present or future. We have a Tesla Roadster coming. We have a 1955 car, and we have a time car, all talking about Back to the Future, because our focus is we're supporting those who have breast cancer and trying to prevent a tragedy by early detection. But we are looking for a future we're looking to go into a future with no breast cancer. So that's the amazing race. And then on Saturday, we're doing this for the first time. We've always had a second winery party. And after last year, for the 4th year, I thought, well, this is a family-friendly town. And we're having 2 winery parties. I mean, been there, done that, drank wine, met stars. And you can't take your kids. You've left them home the night before, and now you're leaving them home again.
Yeah.
So we changed it into a family festival this year, and everybody's very excited about that. And this is why I have to say at this point, this was an idea in my head in the jungle that it would still be there if it wasn't for all of the amazing volunteers that have come on over the years to make this happen. We have a production team of 54 people who each take a part of the weekend, and they make it their own, and they organize that section. And we, oversee everything, because I do like to know what's happening so that I'm not taken by surprise. But the work is done by these wonderful people. And then we have about 300 other volunteers running the different parts of the event for this, Friday and whole day Saturday. And this year is the festival from 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock. It's only $10 to get in, and 5 and under are free. They come in, there's the autograph line, there's a wonderful autograph book that they get for that $10 when they get in. They go through the autograph line, they meet and greet all these stars, they can get their picture taken with them, and it's a lot of fun. And then, in the middle, right behind the stars, it's all up at City Hall in Temecula, in the City Hall grounds. We have the Pirate and Princess photo stations. We've got Anna and Elsa and pirates and Captain Sparrow and parrots and snakes and Pocahontas and Jasmine and Cinderella and a whole bunch of characters for families to get pictures taken with the characters. And we have a military photo station booth for people to take a picture in front of our banner that clearly says Reality Rally honors the military. Then there's kids' challenges. We have a STEM school doing a robotic obstacle course. We have Home Depot doing a craft center. And we have Teen Radio Temecula doing Teen React. We have Pit City doing a gym-type thing. We have 13 challenges for families to do. And up on the steps of City Hall, we have 5 organizations doing singing and dancing. They come from different choral groups and dance groups, and they're performing for everybody. At 6:15, that all closes and stops, and we have the Celebrity Chef Showcase from 7 to 9 up on the steps of City Hall, and we have 18 celebrity chefs coming from 10 different cooking shows like Hell's Kitchen, Chopped, MasterChef, MasterChef Junior, Chef Extreme, and a variety of those shows. And they are in a culinary competition. We pair 2 chefs together. We have 3 tables competing against each other in 3 heats, and they have to prepare a dish in a very short period of time with the equipment that we give them, the food that they choose off the pantry, and they're judged by a dignitary panel of judges who are the CEOs of our local chambers of commerce, our mayor, and our state representative. And then a team is declared the winner after 2 hours of 3 teams, 3 heats, somebody wins. And then at 9 o'clock we clean up, and it's done for another year, and we have a wonderful time. And I told you weren't going to get a word in edgewise.
Well, I would assume, once this is over, how much of a break do you have before you jump right into planning next year? Because it sounds like there's so much going on over just one weekend.
It is, and some of it runs, all automatically. Like Wilson Creek pretty much is fairly automatic because we've done it. This is our 5th year. And we've got great, the lady that does the coordination of that has done it for 5 years. So, she actually, I kind of joke, when I left Survivor, our psychologist sort of gave us the don't do this and you should do that, etc. And he says, and just be on the lookout for stalkers. So I was thinking, what? Stalkers? I'm a little old lady from Temecula, my God, who's going to be a stalker? Just after my season was announced, because of course I had to keep it secret until the last one it was announced. So I'm coming home from buying some groceries, and I open my trunk to get the bags out, and this car pulls up right next to me, and this lady hops out, and she says, "You're Gillian. I'm so sorry to bother you, but I just have to meet you. I just heard somebody was on Survivor, and I'm a huge Survivor fan." So I said, "Oh," I'm thinking, "Oh, so this is a stalker." It was so funny. I said, "How did you find me?" And she said, "Oh, I looked up this and I looked up that, and I drove around." And I said, "Oh, good grief." Well, she's become a very good friend, and she actually organizes the Wilson Creek event for us. And then the festival is new, and that is why it's so much busier this year. All of what you heard me describe. Oh, and then the food is actually provided by the great food truck reality show trucks. We've got 4 of those coming, so the food is provided by them. So it's been busy because of that. I think, oh gosh, we're not going to do that again. And we've changed it up a little bit every year. Anything that doesn't bring in money, that takes an incredible amount of work to organize. And if people organize events, they know what it takes. If they don't organize events, then they haven't a clue what it takes. And those are always the ones that want to tell us how to do it better. So it does take a lot of work, and anything that doesn't make money, that wasn't worth the work that we put into it, then we don't do that again. Like we used to have a golf tournament the morning of Friday, and there was a lot of work. It was great fun. Sponsors had a great game of golf, but we really didn't make any money, and it was a lot of work. And then we also had a volunteer appreciation breakfast on the Sunday, and everybody was so exhausted from the weekend that we only had like 300 or 400 people. So that was also, because it was essentially a free event, we didn't make money off that. So I thought we can't keep killing off all our volunteers. So we have a different way of appreciating them with a percentage off coupon for them to come to the event. We're planning actually all the time. I constantly make notes on my notepad on my phone, or I'm not going to do that again. Or, wow, that was a brilliant idea. We should do this definitely again and improve on it. So, yeah. And then I tie up the budget, and I tie up this, and I look for the stats. Look to see how many people came from which country and which city. We had something like 380 cities represented last year, people coming to volunteer and play. Donations, we had like over 2,000 donations that came from all over the world, and I will have those stats available after the event, but it takes me about a month to tie it up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it.
One thing I really like is that, the fact that you said you're focusing on, this may have made a little bit of money, but can we do more, with something else, and changing it up every year. One thing that really impressed me is, you said that all the stars who come, they still have to raise their $500. And I was just going through the links of all the different people who are coming this year. And so many of these people are already at like $1,000, $1,100. Like, they're not looking at it, okay, well, I put my, 500 in, that's it. Like, these stars are really going above and beyond. It's not just about let's hit the minimum, let's get as much as possible. Do you find that that's the normal with most of these people?
A lot of them, and I have to give some kudos right here to several stars and then also several teams. Liza Stinson, who's from Big Brother Canada, so she's from your home ground. She's from Toronto, but she's from up there. And she raised $13,000 last year.
Wow.
Extremely competitive, and just asked. When people said to her, "How did you raise so much money?" She looked at them in bewilderment, and she said, "I asked." Please, that's how. So this year she was extremely busy with life, as many people are. And so she said, "Oh, I don't think I'm going to do that. Can't do that again." Well, then all of a sudden, the Bar Rescue guys from the show Bar Rescue, they had a fundraising event, a music fundraising event. They raised $8,000 between them. So all of a sudden, these guys have got like 3, 4, 5,000 because they also ask, and they have fundraising. So they raised, I think they were hitting like 3 and 4 and 5,000. So of course, Liza said, "Forget that. Nobody's going to beat me." So she upped and amped it up, and she's well over 10,000 again. So she is our top fundraising star because our date for qualifying to be here with their 500 was February 15th, because we have to then book beds and seats on buses and all that stuff. And then for them to be in the top fundraising levels, it was April 1st. So, March 31st, April 1st. So Liza is our top fundraiser again with well over 3,000, and then the Bar Rescue guys are behind there. And then there are a lot of others who raise more money. It's not like they say, and there are some that do struggle and really can't do it, but they want to be here badly enough, so they do hit the 500. And that's all I ask, is that they hit the 500. Otherwise, I'll snuck out the porch and say, "Sorry, you can't be here. Come back, try again next year." Because I just can't say never mind, because then it would totally dilute those that make the effort. But then they say, "Oh, Gillian doesn't care. She says come anyway," and I won't do that. So yeah, and then the teams. A lot of the teams are hugely competitive. We've got many of them have raised over their thousands so that they can choose their star. And the three amigos are three awesome guys, huge Survivor fans, big Survivor wannabes, and they formed this team, the three amigos, 5 years ago, and they've supported us ever since. They come from, John used to live in Philadelphia, I believe it was. He now lives in Arizona. Steve is from Oklahoma, and Rick is from San Diego. So they raise money, and they actually, however they do it, they come in with well over 5,000 every year, and this year they've gone way over 8,000. So they are the top fundraising team of this season. I call it the season because I'm from a show. So they raise money every year as well, and well over 8,000. And I take my hat off to them because they're just amazing, and they do this year after year, and it's such a pleasure having them here.
And all of the money does go, as you said, to Michelle's Place, which I was doing a little bit of research, and as you said, they provide so many different services. It's not just, the money goes and it sits in an account and somebody determines where it goes. I mean, there's so many different services that they're providing to people right now.
Yeah, I'd like to talk a little about Michelle's Place, actually. Obviously, I did say how it was formed. She died at 26, and while she was going through that horrible experience, there was no support system here other than her family and friends and, her medical team. But she found a center up in Santa Barbara. There was like come here and, you can sit and talk and you can borrow things and you can get support, etc. So when she was dying, she asked her parents to please see if they could set up something that could support those going through breast cancer. So they did. They started like 6 months after she passed away. I think at their kitchen table. Then it moved to a basement of a church. And then it moved to a small building. And they've got it's not a huge building, and there's several videos on our website that show it. And they provide approximately 8,000 services a year, from providing the money that we raise. And I do have to qualify that, the money for the entire event, we do have a few expenses. I have a most amazing sponsorship. We've got over 130 sponsors again this year. And almost everything that you see, touch, feel, hear, listen, eat, drink, etc., except for the wine, is sponsored. The photography, the videography, the everything, and half of the cost of the tables and chairs, etc. But there are a few expenses, and we only get what we have to have. I would love a plane to fly over and drop petals on everybody at the beginning of the game, but it would cost money, and we don't do it. If somebody wants to do it for free, and we have had a helicopter fly over for free, so yes, we do it. So there are a few expenses, but then the money goes to Michelle's Place, to the breast health program, which then provides mammograms for uninsured, underinsured women, and men. Men actually have ultrasounds, but there are men that have breast cancer. And then it's the medical follow-up, it's the support team, it's the patient navigation. I want it for when somebody gets out of a shower and says, "Oh my gosh, I've just felt a lump, what do I do?" They will know about Michelle's Place and turn to them and say, "What do I do?" And then the patient navigators there, one is Cheryl, and I think they've got 3 now, Dina, and there's one other. they take them through what to do. And then they go and have services, they have mammograms, they have follow-up, and then they've got support classes. And then when people have surgery, they are called every day to make sure they're doing all right. There's support classes for them, there's for their families, for their children, for their husbands. There's educational classes, there's health classes, there's yoga, there are wigs, prosthetics. Hairdressers come in, help with people losing their hair. It's just an amazing facility, and the Watsons are the most delightful family. They are the down-to-earth mom and pop that are doing this in their daughter's memory. And this is why we do what we do. People look at us and say, good Lord, you guys put in a lot of effort. Why? And I say, because we can. You know, we didn't die. We can. And that's why people come on board and do it. And many people are touched by breast cancer. So we do it because we can. And it's fun. I mean, how often can you make half of, 300 people skip through the market wearing tutus singing Old MacDonald Has a Farm? or getting on a stage and performing Hamlet, or, a 6-foot man in a nightie at the film festival. It's like, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. It's just fun. So.
You said how many sponsors there were, and anybody who really wants to see how much support there is for this event, you can actually see the program online. And I was flipping through this, and like half of the pages on this program are just sponsors. I mean, there's so much support, not to mention the amount of reality stars you said that are coming. You mentioned contestants from MasterChef, lots from Hell's Kitchen, a ton from Big Brother Canada. It wasn't just one or two. I noticed like 5, 6, 7 of them from Big Brother Canada. And of course, as always, Survivor. Who are some of the ones we have this year? Holly Hoffman from Nicaragua, Bob Crowley from your season, Gabon, Missy Payne from San Juan del Sur, Nalea Dennis and John Carroll from Marquesas. I mean, do you get a lot of these stars that come back year after year?
We do. A lot of them come back every year. And in fact, we've got, I think, something like 20 or 30 that have come for 5 years. And we're acknowledging them this year because it's 5 years. And then some of them are new, and we always get new people. And for the first few years, I was everywhere. Every kind of reality party there was, I was getting the word out. That's how I connected with Ben, actually. I kind of browsed through Facebook, and I looked to see who is in any way a possibility for me to promote Reality Rally through. And I'll touch on that briefly. I got a Facebook request, and this was the weirdest thing for me. Why did these people ask to be a friend of this old lady in Temecula? So I get this request, and I said, oh, look. So I look, and I see the guy's in media. That's one of the things he's put on his whatever, profile or whatever. So I just dropped him a quick email, and it just shows you never know where some brief interaction might lead you. Mm-hmm. So I dropped this quick email to him, and I said, hey, I was on Survivor. If you're ever interested in interviewing survivors, because of course I want to talk about Reality Rally, because it was only in its infancy at that point. It was still, I actually blew out my shoulder body surfing when I was in Gabon. So I had major surgery with screws and wires for 2 surgeries and lots of PT. So anyway, so I said, if you ever want to interview a survivor or talk to a survivor over there in Australia, let's chat. So he did. He hopped on it. And then, that was the seed. And then I helped support him by, connecting him with some reality people. And then you guys have just taken it and run with it. I mean, you're all amazing. You've done such a good job with it. So I used to go to everything I could possibly get to. Every party, every bar, and I walk around with my bottle of water because I'm not going to drive 2 hours home. Having been drinking, and I can't drink much anyway. I occasionally have some wine, but I'm useless when I've had a drink, even just one. A very cheap date. But now I don't have to go to everything, because all of those I go to a lot, but nothing like I used to, because the stars are out there, and our reputation is out there. And that's why we wanted it to be a really well-organized, amazing event. I keep the charity absolutely in front of everybody at all times. I take the stars there. Actually, my favorite time for the weekend is taking the reality stars to Michelle's place right away on Friday afternoon. And they meet the family, they watch the video, they hear what the services are, and they know why they do what they do. And most of them cry, and I ask the videographers to please capture all the pictures of the crying people. And I love that. And So they're all promoting it for us. I get requests from people. The Little Woman of LA, I've had requests this year, but too late to hop on this year. But shows that I would not have had a connection with, and now we're being talked about out there in this reality world. And like I said, we've had a few shows that I didn't think that our image, and we're not the moral police, but I just really cannot have people that have been really challenging or not a good image on their show, or their show isn't really something. I just suggest, you should find something that maybe is better suited for, who you are. But very little of that. But we keep our image high. I can't do that to our sponsors who give us so much to have. And I don't want trouble here. Anybody's looking like trouble, I don't want it here. So yeah. So it's really a great event, and you guys have played such a part in promoting us as well. I really, really appreciate it. We talked to Australia, and I love that. I've actually got friends in Australia. I'm from South Africa, you possibly know that. Mm-hmm. And then several of my friends moved to Australia, and I moved to the States, and then some moved to England. But yeah, and I just value what you guys do for us, so thank you so much.
Oh, and we're obviously very thankful for the part you played in putting this together. Think about there's 25 of us who are working on Survivor Oz now, and none of us would have anything to do had you not sent a random message to Ben.
Isn't that fun? Mm-hmm. That is really amazing. In fact, I love your web blogging. Caroline she goes by Blogger Gal. She's been blogging for us, but she just moved about a week ago, so she hasn't blogged for the last 2 weeks. But I kind of feed her stories, bits and pieces about this and that and the other, and then she turns them into a really well-written blog. So if you guys are ever looking for a good blogger or a good writer, just let me know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so go look at Reality Rally blog, and you'll see the blog stories. They're great. I mean, there's some really awesome stories. But I would love something about you guys to put in the blog. What you just said. I think that's really cool. Mm-hmm. So yeah, gather your thoughts, all of you, and give me some material, and we'll put it into a blog and talk about you guys.
Yeah, absolutely will. And Reality Rally does start this Friday, right?
It does, this weekend, Friday the 10th of April with Wilson Creek, and then Saturday the 11th of April for the Amazing Race type game, and the Family Festival. It's not just a family festival, it's a festival. Something in it for everybody. All ages, even grannies and kids and teens and everybody. And the chef showcase is going to be, we did it last year at the breakfast, and it was a huge success. So anybody that's into cooking, in fact, I talked to the high school today, and I said, how many people watch Survivor? And maybe there must have been like 60 kids in the room, because they're coming to volunteer for us. Most of them belong to an ROTC group and a softball team. Oh, which is something you guys may be interested in. It's not set in stone yet, and it better hurry up and be set in stone, because we've got 3 days to go. But we're very possibly going to have a leaderboard on our homepage of the website. In addition to our live stream link, which will be visible on our website, we're going to have a leaderboard where you can watch the teams and see who's done how many challenges.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But I've got to have, you see, this is the Back to the Future year. I've got to have 30 people manning those 13 stations, clicking in the team. So this is not a done deal. I've had it available for the past 3 years, and we just have never had enough people confirmed to be the tech team at every station. So that's a very good possibility, so just watch out for that. So anyway, I asked the kids in the room today, and I said, how many watch Survivor? And maybe 10 at the most hands went up. I said, how many of you watch cooking shows? And I would say at least 30 hands went up. We also have 2 kids coming from MasterChef Junior.
I noticed that too.
Yeah. So yeah, people are big into the cooking shows, and we will be live streaming. People will be able to watch it on our website. I will be putting the link up in a few days. And right on the homepage is going to be live stream all of Saturday. So it'll be capturing videos of what's happening, the action of what's happening. It'll be getting some interviews of different people, and then it'll be covering the entire chef showcase. And I have a videographer that's going to be filming it up close, the live stream further back, and then we're going to have a split screen of projection so that people can see it on this enormous blow-up movie screen. and then that will also be relayed on live stream. So it's going to be really cool. Keep watching it, guys.
That's at realityrally.com, right?
Correct. The website is realityrally.com, and the date is April 10th, which is this Friday, and April 11th, which is this Saturday. And the entire event is for Michelle's Place, Breast Cancer Resource Center. If anybody's local, please know about the Resource Center, because you may know somebody that would need their services. So, yeah, it's coming up. It's right around the corner. And I have to thank all of these wonderful volunteers. I myself am a volunteer. Want to thank all of those volunteers that make this happen. And we couldn't do it without them. And then all of the media that help, promote it. All of the sponsors who make it happen. I'm just in awe every year. In fact, one of the videographers, several of the videographers have been releasing highlights from last year that I am putting on my Facebook page. So go to my Facebook, and it's Gillian with a G, Gillian Larson, and go to Reality Rally Facebook, and you'll see these videos. I look at them and I think, wow, that really is an awesome event. Mm-hmm. And I'm so in awe at so many people who make it happen. It just wouldn't happen without them. There's no way. No way.
I'm also assuming it's not too late if anybody listening to this wants to just find their favorite star on your site and add a last-minute donation in. It's obviously not too late for that.
Yep, absolutely. Actually, we keep the fundraising page open until the end of April, so people can donate. The way to do that is go to realityrally.com, go to the tab that says Reality Stars, drop down, pick Reality Star lineup, look for your star that you want to help. Hey, maybe you want to help Liza you guys are Canada. A lot of your listeners might be up there. Help somebody from Canada hit her first 13,000 goals she hit last year. Look for Liza Stinson, and then you hit the donate button, and then it's easy. You just pop in $5, $2, $3, $10, $100, whatever you want to, and it all mounts up for her. And also, if there are any stars that you like and want to support, so look for their name and click their donate button. So thank you for bringing that up, Colin. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and thanks so much for being here to talk with us again this year, and we're sure we're going to be able to hear about it again next year as this gets bigger and bigger, and hopefully you don't burn yourself out too much this weekend.
I never do. I take a lot of vitamin B. That's my secret. So yeah, and Ben is hoping to be for next year, so he'll be here in person to be able to get videos and interviews, so maybe some of the Oswits can come as well.
Hey, I'm a little bit closer than Ben is. It's probably going to be cheaper for me to travel. If you can talk him into giving me a raise, then I'll be there next year.
All right. Well, we'll have to work on that one. Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much, Gillian.
Thank you so much, Colin, for your time, and thank you all your listeners. And would you send me the link when you publish it so I can promote it and put it on our website?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Colin. Great chatting. I'm sorry I didn't give you much of a turn to talk.
Oh, no problem at all.
All right. Good night, everybody.
And that was Gillian Larson, Survivor Gabon contestant, organizer of Reality Rally, participant in Reality Rally. That's all happening this week, as she said. Everybody can follow the links on the page if you did visit us on our website. If not, go to our website, look up the Reality Rally post with Gillian, and follow the links there. You can donate to the stars, as she said, all the way through the end of the month. It doesn't have to be by this weekend when the event's being held. Otherwise, you can go to their website, realityrally.com, and as she said, they'll be live streaming on the website throughout the weekend. And as we always do, we will have somebody at the event at Reality Rally talking to contestants, doing interviews for Survivor Oz. This year we have a guest interviewer, Ryan Allen Carrillo, who some of you may know. He'll be conducting interviews, and we'll be getting that content on the site over the next little while, so you can keep up to date on the Reality Rally stuff. Hopefully next time you hear from anybody here, it'll be Ben, as he's had a busy week and fortunately had a couple of delays over the weekend, which is why you're listening to me. Ben should be back soon, though, so for all those looking forward to more Ben Waterworth, just wait a couple of days. You'll be hearing from me soon. Until next time, I'm Colin Hilding, filling in for Ben Waterworth, and we'll speak to you next time on The Trades.